Hello, everyone. Welcome to week one. Week one. How many people had a fantastic break? Everybody have a great break?
I had an awesome break. Tons of fun.
An awesome break?
Still going. I don't know what you're talking about.
Still going? Anybody else feel like it's still going? Yes, no, maybe so.
Ready to get back into the saddle of things?
Yeah. Well, for those who do not know, my name is Chef Rachel. I get to be your instructor for this awesome class. And guess who gets to join us? The wonderful, fabulous Chef Eric.
What's up, guys? You guys may have known me. Some of you, I definitely recognize some faces and names, as to I might have had you in the past for maybe like a CA122 back in the day, or even like a CE127. You know, the basics, the starter courses. I know it's been a while for you guys since you've seen those courses, but you know, I'm back and I'm ready to play and help you guys finish off is this the last core class, Chef, before their externship?
I believe for you guys it is, isn't it? This is your last core class because the majority of you are in farm to table right now, correct? I'm seeing
then they got their culinary entrepreneurships, the next one. Or was that before this one? Everything's screwy with me.
Oh, that one's next. Oh, so you'll have me again. Haha. You will have me again then. And then we also have Sydney. Is Sydney still here?
Yes, ma'am, I sure am.
Oh, yep, there you are. Hi, Sydney. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Chef Rachel. I just wanted to pop in and kind of introduce myself. My name is Sydney Wilson. I have actually been through this whole course that everybody is going through, and I've been brought back as a tutor to help out. I actually graduated last November, so all the struggles of everything is still very, very fresh. So I'm here to help in any way that I can, because if anybody knows it, I understand that sometimes you need just that little extra one-on-one time. So my information is not on the website yet. There's been some glitches with that, but I will put my information in the chat over here. But for the recording, for everybody who didn't make it tonight, I will go ahead and tell you what my phone number is so that if y'all need to be able to reach me, to be able to set up a tutoring session, then feel free to reach out and we'll do like a little live session where I can help specifically whatever it is that you need a little extra with. So that phone number is 706-963-0145. And like I said, I'm here just to help in any way that y'all might need or any way that I can.
And for those who are watching the live session archive, and for those who are with us right now, I can put Sydney's info into the message that I sent you guys. That way you have it, and not only hearing Sydney say it, but you'll actually have it in the messaging as well. So check for that. And then Sydney, will your stuff make it to the main page shortly?
It's supposed to. I've been in touch with Chef Chanel several times, and I've been assured that it's in the process. It just hasn't made it there yet for whatever reason. I've actually been here since May.
Sam's a busy man. So.
Well, and you know, let me pull up that main page there. Do you guys see that? The main page? Yes, perfect. So tutoring items right here, but I'll even put it in for you, and it'll probably be under week one. So I will put it under week one for you so that we have it there. While we are checking out this main page for you guys, look at how cool it is. Have you guys looked at all of the fun awesomeness that is your main page yet? Yeah, chef, I totally have. It's awesome. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that you guys have done that. So you will see that I have that delightful little video for you guys. We have your lessons, your concepts. That's what we're talking about this week. We will also have the live session archive will typically be right under here, along with any slides or information that I talk about in this live session. It will be on here. So you always will have it so you can go back to reference it. And then we will have your assignment, as always, right there. If you guys remember this little delightful little blue half circle, that's where you're gonna find all of our information. If I can get my thing to work. Look, there's my info right there. This 970 is a text-only number. So if you call that number, it will not work. So if you have a text, though, you can text that number and it will work. To call me, it is this number. And then Chef Eric, you have your info here, right?
Yeah, same deal.
Yeah.
Same deal. That first number there, that text message at the 720-507-4006, that is text only. That phone will not be answered, only text messages received. If you do want to reach me, call the one beneath it where it says phone at 720-316-6783.
Perfect. Now, are there any questions about that? Michelle, it looks like you have a question right now.
Can you just clarify what you meant by that 15 extra credit?
Yes, your 15 points extra credit if you actually did your assignment, that delightful assignment for you, which is a knowledge check. If you get that done, if you get it done by Friday, you get extra credit. And that will be 15 points going to wherever it needs to go. So say you turned in an assignment late or something like that. You only get like an 85%, right? Well, now you have 15 points. I will add it to that grade and voila, you get 100. So that is that type of extra credit we're looking at. Isn't that exciting?
What if you already did it and you passed it?
If you didn't pass it, then you're getting extra credit.
Oh.
To be able to use that extra credit at some point in time down the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
It gets stored in the extra credit bank.
Okay.
AKA my Word document, which says who did what. So who else has a question?
Benjamin Ramos.
Oh, Benjamin.
Hey, Chef. Nice seeing you again. Nice to meet you, Chef Rachel. I just want to apologize with this late of a notice on what time our class was. I wasn't able to get off work today, so I'm going to be going in about 10 minutes, but in my ear, I just won't be able to talk back to you guys.
Yeah, you're good, Benjamin. Don't you sweat it. Remember, just like before, it's all about watching those archives, right?
Especially with this class, because we get to go over so much fun information. Because this gets to be a fun class. We get to talk about your menus. How awesome is that? Right?
I personally love menus. I love examining them. Like you and I, when over graduation, we were scoping out that menu before. I don't actually have that right here on the fly. I did send that somewhere. I don't remember where I ended up putting it. But when Rachel and I got together at graduation, because she actually came over down here, I should say, and got to attend her first graduation, we actually all got together as a staff and went out to dinner. And this menu was just so weird, right? You know, it had dark spots to where, like, you know, on a menu, you want to have these boxes that highlight things you want people to see. Well, they kind of did the reverse and kind of put this dark box, and it was very hidden. And I thought it was full of sauces for the stuff beneath it when it was actually sauces for chicken wings. I was like, this menu doesn't make any sense. What is their identity? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the type of thing we get to talk about so that you don't make that kind of mistake. Because it was a black box, but then they didn't use like a good font or even color to really make it pop. It was just kind of like there, so you completely miss it. And it was even they even had like specials in there and what else? They had like some type of like appetizers, and you know that it was there to like highlight everything, but it did the exact opposite. Your eye just went right past it, flew past it, didn't even know. And that is the type of thing that we get to talk about so that that does not happen to you. Michelle.
Being that you're talking about colors, it says that you only want to use maybe 2 colors and one that is a neutral color. What would you consider a neutral color?
Well, we will definitely dive into that more, especially like next week when we talk about the psychology of menu designs. But, when you're thinking neutral, what do you guys think of? What does everybody else think of?
I think of like a beige, but
That's what I think. Beige, white.
Yeah. You think white, you think beige, cream, ivory, those kind of things, right?
I always think of like more of a pastel kind of color, just very soft and just kind of not really there to go, wow, look at me,
Yeah. Think about all those design shows. How many times do they have that, that like light gray color? Because now gray is all in. It's that very light color where it gives you that base to really do what you want to, accessorize however you want to. But now you get to accessorize with your menu and not pick a black box to highlight food items.
And I think it actually did have like that neutral color as the writing color. Like
Yeah, it
the
was.
font itself was a little weird as well, but then like the color of the actual bold, because they had it bold-faced, but the font was just kind of boring, very subtle. It like I said in the chat there, it had no wow factor to really bring my attention to it. A couple of us chefs were like, I didn't even know that was for the chicken wings. I didn't even know that was like a special. Like,
Oh, yeah. And now, when you guys are looking at doing menus, this is something that you can pick up. Every single time you go to a restaurant, really look at it. See what it is. What did you like about it? Where did your eye directly go? Because there's a whole science around this. Like making people, giving them choices, but you directing them to the choice that they should take. There's a entire science about it, but that's luckily what we get to go over next week. But this week, we get to talk about your foundation, the concept, what your concept is about. Now, how many people want to open up your own establishment? Raise hands. I see Michelle. I see Sydney.
you can raise your virtual hand as well if you are not on video. Go ahead and just do that virtual hand thing.
Now, what do you guys want to do? This is where you can actually talk too.
Robert said food truck.
Food truck?
I want to do a nice small steak place, kind of a little more upscale.
Upscale. Did you say bake place?
Steak.
Oh, steakhouse. Okay, cool. Steakhouse.
Like small, like 30 seats or something, something really small and intimate.
Steak fine dining kind of circum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I see catering, which is great. Love catering. Oh, Chef Eric, we're silly. We didn't introduce ourselves fully. We just kind of went straight in, didn't we?
A lot of these guys already know me. I believe majority of these guys already know me. But if you want to know about background, I've got about 20 years experience. I'm a product of Escoffier as well. I was one of the first graduates of this online program. I went through the very first course that was offered to society, which was pretty fun. Way, 5 years ago now, and I did banquet halls, banquet chef position, head chef position, sous chef positions ever since I've graduated, and I've loved it ever since. And then I got my wife pregnant, and so then we had our baby, and so I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna circle around, look at some more jobs that are out there that are gonna kind of lighten my load of a 60 to 80 hour work week as an executive or banquet chef. And I spoke with some of my mentors from the past, which I've been so happy to work with as well. And I am here for now the last 2 years. So I'm pretty much the senior evaluator per se, the one with the most longevity. Everybody else I've trained. Even the one that is my mentor as my lead evaluator I've also trained her. So it's tons of fun. Love it.
Nice, nice. And for those who do not know, if you did not have me, you will have me here, and you will have me in entrepreneurship. I am originally from Massachusetts, born and raised, and then I did not start off in the food realm. No, I did horses, and I actually went to school for it. So I did equine teacher trainer and facility management. And then I decided, to trade one form of crazy for our form of crazy, which is the culinary world. So I went to culinary school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu. And after that, I've gotten my bachelor's in business management, and then I just finished getting my master's in I got my MBA with a concentration in entrepreneurship. And in between all of that, I traveled around. I lived in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, England, and then I made my way out to Colorado. I came out to Colorado to visit friends, and I did not want to handle another New England winter, so I stayed. And then
pick the right place, Jeff. Pick the right place.
And then I have been here for, oh God, I think it's 14 years now. 14 years I have been here, and I have done everything from baker, pastry chef, line cook, cake decorator, wedding planner, catering chef, and then went and ran a bed and breakfast with an event center, and I loved it. We had the B&B part, but then we had this really big event center in which we did weddings, we did conferences. It was a lot of fun and really busy. Because it was busy, kind of like Chef Eric, I, in between all that, got married and had my son and decided to switch, because this is the beauty of our industry. The possibilities are endless for what you can do. And I decided to teach. So I taught for 5 years in the culinary and hospitality program at the community college here. And then I came here and been teaching here ever since. So for those who are working, have a kid in school, I know exactly what you're going through, because I did the exact same thing. And I'm going to tell you, it's just a short time frame. It's a short time frame to make your life better. So remember that and just go through, get the help that you need by communicating, like talking to me, talking to Chef Eric, we have Sydney. Use your resources and communicate. If you get stuck, that's what we're here for. So please remember that. And remember, it's just a short time frame. So, and if you need help, that's what we're here for. And now we get to talk about how awesome your concepts are going to be and how to do the right type of menu. Because Blake, if you were going to do a delightful steakhouse, are you going to have a drive-through menu at this steakhouse?
Of course not.
Of course not, right? Because people are going to say 5-star, but you have a drive-through menu? No, that's not okay, right? What are you going to do? One that's in like a leather bounded like leather bound, beautiful, like folder, and it's pretty and it has like cursive writing, so it looks super fancy. Is that going to be more your style versus
That'd be more something for a more upscale place, yeah.
yeah, if you're doing an upscale steakhouse, yeah. So these are the types of things you need to consider when you're talking about your concept, because you guys know what your concept is. You've been talking about it, you've been thinking about it, you've been dreaming about it all of this time. And I'm guessing a good chunk of you know the type of recipes that you want to use in your concept, right? You know the style of food that you want to do. Yes, I'm seeing nods of yes. Yeah, chef, I totally do. It's in my head. Oh, cool. So you're going to definitely hear me in a Bob's Burgers voice. I love to reference Bob's Burger because it's a perfect example. This guy made a fabulous, fabulous product, but he couldn't run a business, right? He had child labor issues. He had, his menu is just there, and he came up with really unique names, but he couldn't really sell it, right? Because I'm guessing he did not have a website, as he should. And your website is going to be key, especially for your menu. Because what's the first thing that everybody does if they decide, I feel like Thai food tonight? What are you going to do?
Google it.
Google it. And then you're going to look at their menu on their website, right? You're going to check out what they're all about. That is key. That is all part of this. And knowing the type of concept you want to do is going to help you build the type of menu you want to have. And it's going to fill in all the blanks, right? You're going to understand the type of environment you want your customers to have. Are they going to have an upscale, Michelin star rated experience, or is it going to be family friendly? You're giving the kiddos their own version of a menu that's, a coloring page with crayons, versus you're going to have that food truck, that waffle stand with a waffle on a stick for that person on the go so they can eat their breakfast on the go, right? As they're doing their Fitbit in that waffle. With your Fitbit, if you
chicken
actually
on one skewer, waffle on the other, chicken, waffle, chicken, waffle, chicken, waffle.
Exactly. If you go like this on your Fitbit enough, it makes it look like you're running. It'll actually do that. Nice. So
that'd be more safer on a treadmill than a car.
Nice. Nice. So, and this is where it's really, really important too, because we're talking about your concept, to really have the details down, really know what you want your concept to be about, because you don't want there to be any confusion for your customer. Now, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite little drawings, because this happens so often. You don't have that clear and concise, you're not clear and concise of what you want your menu to look like. This can happen. This is how somebody sees it, and then you go through the whole list of what all of these people thought it was. And you don't want this type of confusion when it comes to your menu. And it's very easy to create this type of confusion with a menu. Because how many people have seen really bad menus? Jeff, what was some of the things that really pointed out as being bad?
I think Sharon, you want to?
Oh, Sharon? It looked like Bradley was going to say something, but he didn't.
Yeah.
No, Bradley? Okay. Sharon.
We was at a restaurant one time, and it was like you was talking about, the menu was really confusing. They didn't have it, it wasn't, how do I want to put it? It wasn't it was readable, but it wasn't understandable. It was just a little restaurant that my husband and I had found somewhere. We was out on an adventure, and by the time it was over, I was more frustrated. By the time I was done, you know, nothing was plain. They didn't have anything explained. There was, you know, there's prices, but it didn't tell you what it was really. I was so frustrated by the end of it that I was just, I didn't want to eat there after it was over.
It was vague, right? It didn't really give you, yeah, it didn't really show its identity. It didn't let you know what you were getting. It was just like, all right, here's a cheeseburger. Is that kind of like the idea of that, what that menu was? But rather than being like, all right, here's a cheeseburger with fresh heirloom tomatoes, some arugula, and this beautiful vinaigrette, so, you know, like giving you some sort of substance to be like, that sounds delicious. It's making me hungry, you know? Like, that's what I want. That's what I want a menu to do, is to give me some sort of something and make me want it, right? Give me something. Like, tell me about the food. Don't bore me and be like, I'll take that coffee now, please. I need to read your menu.
I have one here, which is one of my favorites, and I actually got it from Chef Luke. So you might have seen this one, Chef Eric. Like, look at that. How do you even start to figure out what you want?
Where do I go?
Where do you even go, right? Isn't that awesome? Wait, did somebody say something? You guys have a Blake?
So I don't know how you feel about it, but like when I go to a restaurant and look, I like to see the food described to me instead of saying like, here's the name of the dish and here's a picture of it.
Yes, because that's going to be part of this class. We get to talk about how to use wording properly. We're going to use proper description, and we're not going to make it so it's so much that it's a novel, but it gives people that story of what they are about to experience at your establishment. And that's also where it's really, really important to double check your spelling, right? Because there's definitely been menus that I've gone to and they, you know, Word is a great thing and spell check is great, but sometimes Word does not understand that you were using that, like the 2, 2, and 2, or there, and there, or, you know.
It doesn't edit your grammar with that as well. Yeah. You know, as to where a bowl of something could be a bowel of another. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes, I was trying to think of a good one. Thank you. And this is where it's really important to get this down, because this is a moment of truth. This is a moment of truth for your customer, and it's that first interaction. And your menu is part of that interaction, because they are looking at your menu and deciding, am I going to eat here? Did it entice me enough to make me walk through the door? And that's a really, really important spot. And as Sharon was saying, she had a horrible moment of truth, right? Because you did not want to eat there. You didn't want to you didn't want to finish your meal. You were done. And we don't want that to happen. We want to have positive moments of truth. And it starts with you having that concise idea of what you want your concept to be and understanding the recipes in your menu and then making it grow from there. Because how many different types of menus are there out there now, right? We have seasonal, right? What's seasonal menu? Michelle.
Well, the seasonal menu is what's obviously in season and available. But I mean, you have so many, you got the breakfast, you got lunch, you got a la carte, you got buffet, you got takeout. It just goes on and on. It's like, you know, the types of potatoes, they can go on forever too.
Yes, it can. And everybody makes something a little different, right? I feel like every few years somebody decides they're reinventing zucchini or gnocchi or something. You know, they're doing this fabulous thing like that. Who's the chef who does the molecular gastronomy where they only gave somebody it was a plate of sauce and then 6 gnocchi, and that was you paid $500 for that. You guys remember who that is? Oh, I'm going to look it up and I'm going to ask you guys later. But there are a whole slew of different types of menus. And we are going to go over some of them right now. So, for example, we have your a la carte. And let's see if I can make it bigger. Is that better for you guys? How about that? So, a la carte. What do you guys think a la carte?
Kind of like side dishes.
Side dishes, yeah, because everything is priced, you create your own meal, right? So, for example, coffee shops are perfect for that because you can get a coffee or you could get an espresso and then, oh, look, they sell croissants. I want a croissant and then maybe I'll have that piece of fruit or yogurt. Yeah, and then everything is priced accordingly. And because my things were small, I made certain to give you guys the link so that you can see it for yourself. So this guy, or this restaurant, you can have your egg any way, and then toast is $2. You want sliced strawberries, that's going to be another $2. You want gravy, hollandaise, everything is priced out individually, and then you get to pack. This is quite interesting, the no tax if paying with cash. I wonder how long they were able to keep that one up for. Because I have not seen, I was like, oh, they just have that out there.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, right? And this one where you can pick your starters, you have your salads, you have your different sides. You get to pick and choose what you want your meal to be. And some places do this, such as coffee shops. Have you guys ever experienced a la carte menu before?
Yeah, that's sweetie pie.
Last week? Where'd you eat, Deborah?
Sweetie pie.
What did you end up ordering?
At sweetie pie, everything is separate.
Yeah. So what did you end up ordering?
Well, we went there on a Sunday. So say, for instance, you got the turkey. That was separate. Then if you want dressing or macaroni and cheese, all that was separate. And it was the style of a cafeteria.
Now, for those out there, do you think that's going to fit your concept?
Nope.
No? No? Anybody? Does anybody have it where they're going to fit their concept? No bakery lovers? I see one bakery.
I want to work with youth in the juvenile justice system.
Nice. That is fantastic. And that's going to be very exciting for when we do entrepreneurship, because there are definitely nonprofit grants that we can talk about, but we will save that for entrepreneurship. But that's awesome. And then another type of example I have here is I always say it wrong. Was it table d'hôte? I went to Le Cordon Bleu. You'd think my French would be better, but it's.
I would hope yours is way better than mine. I got more German tongue than French tongue, so.
Yeah, it's like table d'hôte, and then the prefix, right? What does that mean for you guys?
Honestly, it means gibberish to me. I have no idea what it means.
That's okay. That's why you're here, right? That is a set menu. This is what you are getting. It's fixed. So prefixed, so it's fixed menu. So you are paying this much money, and these are the items that you can end up getting for that item. So here is the example. Look at how fancy that place is. You will definitely see this a lot in hotels. There are restaurants that do this. There is one here in Windsor that does a entire prefix menu. It's set, this is what you get. But then, and then for the B&B, I definitely did more of that, you know, prefix style. It was that, you know, you can have whatever you want as long as it's this type of thing. So this, or this. Obviously, there were times where I'm like, oh, if you don't like that, don't worry, I'll make you whatever you want, blah, 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 blah. But for the most part, you're going to have, like, you know, this type of fruit platter. We're making this type of muffins. You're getting this, this, and this. And voila, you're going to eat, you're going to get fed, you're going to love it. And this type is an example of this right here.
Would you say catering usually has this type of layout?
Yes, thank you. Yes, catering does, right? Because you're not going to go to a catering and go to each table and say, what do you want to have? You know, it's either chicken or fish, right?
Wedding party of 300. All right. So what can I get you from the menu today? No, thank you. You got 3 options of an appetizer. You got 3 options of and that's all you're gonna get. Those are your options. No changes.
Yes, no changes, because that's a lot of work. And if you're in where Chef Eric and I are in Colorado, so many weddings want to be in the middle of the mountains where there is no kitchen. You're creating that kitchen right then and there, right?
You got your little contact plate warming up food, and it's not easy.
No. And then we also have like a limited version too, where you get combo A or combo B. Which one do you want, right? There's more of a trend for this now. There's definitely more of a trend where instead of giving people a million different options, you are limiting their choices. You get this, or this. You're gonna choose what you want to do. This is especially true for when you're seeing those type of seasonal menus, right? Because especially for farm to table, you can only get asparagus for 3 months out of the year. You're going to give a menu that has a bunch of asparagus on it, right? But just for that 3 months. And this is what they get to order. Have you had fun experience with that, Chef Sydney? Hold on, I'll unmute you. There you go.
Hold on.
I think all 3 of us tried to unmute.
Sorry about that. I have, actually. It's just one of those things that it kind of happens and you kind of have to roll with it. But, you know, I happen to be a huge fan of asparagus, so I would never complain about that personally. So.
And then you'll definitely see, once you guys actually look at this, you'll definitely see now we're not in that realm of, oh, it has to all be a la carte, or it has to all be like a limited or fixed. Now it's just this massive like hybrid of like everything, where it's going to be part limited, part a la carte, part, you know, seasonal. Like, you can have like 3 different types of menus, but you really need to make certain it's going to fit, because if you decide you're going to do like an a la carte but you're farm to table and you didn't think about any of the stuff coming from the farm, and you're always going to have like Atlantic salmon and you're in the middle of Colorado, you may want to like reconsider like what type of items you're actually going to have. I am not going to order like Prince Edward Islands at a farm to table establishment. Prince Edward Island oysters at a farm to table establishment that's in the middle of Colorado.
I'm rarely ever going to order any kind of seafood that's in Colorado. It's a landlocked state. It's very difficult unless you ask those people specifically straight up, and which I do. Oh, I'm not scared. I ask the server, and I go, hey, can you go and check with your chef to make sure that your fish is fresh? I'm curious upon, do you get that flown in fresh 2-3 times a week? Or is that like once a week and then it gets tossed in your freezer till it gets used? Because I'm a fresh fish guy. I'm born and raised in Michigan. I had the Great Lakes. I gotta have fresh seafood, fresh fish, landlocked state. I'm going with bison.
Nice. Yeah, that is very, very true. And we have such delicious bison here too.
Yeah.
We do. And then we also have these kind for those who have seen the good old cycle style menu, which is what's fresh, what's available. And you're going to see this typically in like cafeterias, schools, hospitals. A friend of mine was the executive chef for the like cafeteria for HP. And so while you think like a cycle wouldn't, that rotating menu may not, like you think, oh, just schools, but I mean, they had like sushi Mondays, and they really upped the ante, and they did a whole slew of different things for their employees because they want to create a better work environment. So they made a better work environment by giving people better food, which was fabulous too, because I mean, then you get to be on like HP health benefits, which is great. And then we have, for those who love breakfast at dinner, you have the California style menus where they just have everything on their menu is available whenever. So if you want French toast for dinner, you can get French toast for dinner. You want to have, a sandwich for breakfast? Sure, have a sandwich for breakfast. How many people have eaten at this type of establishment?
Anybody know a very big company that's out there that provides this type of? I'm sure I'd have to say
Waffle. Waffle House.
Waffle House would be one of them. My go-to, I would say, is there you go, Sharon. IHOP. Yep, IHOP, Denny's. Is to where they've got a little bit of everything for everybody. Yeah, is to where, hey, you want a burger for breakfast? By all means, have at it. Now, I bet you those line cooks back there are not exactly the happiest campers when they're doing like 500 pancakes and got to switch it over to a ground beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, tomato, onion. Like, hey, let's have some fun. But such is life, right? They're contributing to the people that they want to bring into the place. That they don't want to turn away anybody. They want everybody to be able to enjoy their food.
And that is, and it's not just like Waffle House, IHOP. I go to places that are local in town, and they have this type of menu. So this could work for your establishment, right? You could, if you want this type of concept, this could work for you. Now, how many people have a style food truck that they're doing? Anybody? I thought I saw a food truck person. Well, you may see the good old du jour. And please remember that du jour means today. I have definitely worked at a place where the person put today's soup du jour, which is today's soup today. So be certain if you're going to use these type of words to not make those kinds of mistakes. And this is what they have, this is what you get, and it's typically on a chalkboard like this, right? Because this is what you get. One of my favorites, and actually I'm curious, Chef Eric, if you have been there, because I cannot remember the name of it, but they actually use, I know, right? It's so great. But it's in Denver. They actually use butcher block paper. to write their menu. And it's giant butcher block paper on, like, they, instead of using like a chalkboard, they have butcher block roll, and then they just change it every day. They write on the butcher block
tear it off
paper.
at the end of the day and pull down and start anew.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I went there once. Or at least a place that had that same sort of idea. I was actually thinking of, because that's where I got my idea for, I wanted to do a big roll of butcher block paper for my baby girl to draw on instead of the wall.
Yeah, right? That'd be fantastic.
Let it cross, tack it down at the other end, let her have a field day with the paints and pens and whatever. Tear it down when it gets too overloaded. So be it. But that's besides the point. Sorry, off subject.
No. Well, Michelle, what is your question?
On that you were talking about kids writing on the wall, they actually have a paint that you can paint on the wall, and it's not really, it's especially made for like chalk, pens, crayons, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can literally draw on.
Mhm.
So even
That
if
way you
you're
can
like
wipe it off.
if you're doing a family style restaurant, you could do like one small wall with that paint, so that way the kids can go there and just color and doodle and whatever.
Or
And
even that for your menu. Think about that. Like, go ahead and paint that wall, right? And then go ahead and get creative. I've actually seen that at a few different establishments now, to where it is just written on the wall itself. And then they like, I mean, you can use chalk paint and just paint an entire wall with that chalk paint, and then write your menu out on chalk. I think, what is it? Heidi's Deli out here does that, to where they do an entire section of all just chalkboard, you know, for their menus. So that way they can just go ahead and erase it. And just like Shabria was saying, is they use a dry erase board. You know, there's like many different ways to go ahead and, especially when you have that du jour menu, you can switch it around, rotate it at ease. You run out of something, even in that day, that chef's going to have to erase that, turn it around, write something else in there. Easy peasy, right?
Now, when you guys think and look at the different types of menus, say like the du jour, like what Chef Eric was talking about, what do you expect when you go into a place like that?
I say freshness.
What did you say?
Fresh.
Fresh? What else do you guys expect?
I expect it to be hot, and what's on the menu to be actually what's being served.
Being served. I see Rachel put organic. What else? Quick. Do you expect to see, are you expecting a Michelin star rated experience with this? Are you expecting fast service?
Now, mind you, that Michelin star now, didn't a food cart in China actually receive like 3 Michelin stars or something like that for his food? He received something.
I don't remember that one. I just know of like Euro, you know, the sushi chef who has his restaurant in the middle of the subway, who got like all 3.
Yeah, I actually watched that documentary. Very good.
Yeah, it was amazing. But whatever you decide for your menu, you need to make certain that you're meeting your customers' expectations. Because in our industry, we have tangibles, which is the things you can touch. That person is holding their menu. They can touch that menu. They can touch the food. They can touch the glassware, silverware, all of that stuff. They can touch. And then they have their intangibles. The intangibles is that experience, those memories that are created, because our industry is all about creating memories through food, right? We're creating that product, and you need to combine this in our industry to make people want to come back to your establishment. Because more times than not, people who had a fabulous food but crappy service will not come back. And when I say crappy service, Their menu's a mess, right? It's mumbo jumbo. They can't understand anything. The wait staff has to sit there and explain every single item on the menu because you didn't set your menu up properly for people to be able to read it. Like, I will gladly just say, no thanks. While you make amazing food, I don't know what I'm getting. So I'll just go to the place that has a better looking menu that I can read for myself and know what I'm getting. Right? Now, here, hold on, let me pull up where is their menu? I have a few menus on here. More menus, can you believe it? Ta-da! So what do you expect when you guys look at this menu? We have egg dishes. What are you guys thinking? Do you like how it looks? As I slowly go down.
Sydney says high end.
High end. But it's clean, right? It's not cluttered. They have pictures, but it's not too many pictures. It's pictures to entice you, not just a bunch of pictures of every single thing on their menu, right?
I say their price points are a little off, but
Oh, this is Fort Collins.
they're bouncing a little bit of everywhere with it.
But that is an excellent thing that you just brought up, Chef Eric, which is part of your menu is pricing that we're going to go over. And your location is key because let's say, what? I'll talk about what I made for my husband tonight. Meatloaf. Meatloaf. Everybody has a different recipe for meatloaf, right? Everybody has a different expectation of what is going to come with meatloaf. Are you going to have mashed potatoes? Are you going to do steamed vegetables? Are you sauteing the asparagus just for Sydney? Are you going to have a sauce with it? Are you just doing good old like A1 sauce versus ketchup? That type of thing. What or Heinz 57? My husband loves Heinz 50. I think it's Heinz 57. But meatloaf, however you are going to plate it and present it, can change, right? The price can change. If I'm going to go to Country Buffet, I'm not expecting to pay a lot for my meatloaf. But you could potentially sell that meatloaf for like $30 if you present it the right way. And your location will have an impact on that because where I live, it's pricey. Denver can be pricey. Boulder is insane. And prices there, it's phenomenal. But if I was going to do my type of meatloaf at my friend's place in the middle of Illinois, not Chicago, like try 3 hours south of Chicago, you know, cornfields for miles, I am not going to pay $30 for meatloaf. People will laugh at me. So if I try to charge that much, right? Yeah, $15 for grilled cheese. There is actually a restaurant. Yeah, that tried to do that.
There's food trucks that have tried to do it too.
Yeah, and they closed. They were able to get away with trying to do a $15 grilled cheese. It worked in California. It does not work in California or Colorado. They had to close all of their stores in Colorado because this is all part of the menu. You got to price it correctly. You have to know your target market. And these are things we get to talk about next week in class. We get to talk about the awesomeness of figuring out your target market and looking at the psychology of the menu, which I love. I love this stuff. So before we do, remember your knowledge check, and I'm trying to pull up the webpage. Remember, you have an assignment. How awesome is your assignment this week? How many people know what the assignment is? Chef Eric knows what the assignment is. This right here. You can take as many, like, just keep on going. Try for it. This will close on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. I always like to say 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time because it's midnight on Wednesday, but why? Don't go there. Don't use that lag.
Say, Chef? You know what I like to say when it comes down to that? Get it done by Sunday so that way you don't have to worry about Monday or Tuesday.
Well, heck, get it done by Friday so you can get your extra credit.
There you go. Even better.
Yeah, right? Get that done so you can get your extra credit in. So that means, when does it need to be done if you want to get that extra credit?
Anyone?
Sydney. Chef Sydney knows.
Anyone? Bueller?
By Friday.
By Friday. Thank you, Andrea. Yes. By Friday. Get that done. It's been a fabulous, fabulous, fun first live session. I can't believe it's already been an hour. Can you believe it? There's so much fun stuff that we can do.
I'm excited. I love this. Sydney's still muted.
Sydney said that it flew by. But you have to unmute yourself so people can see you.
It really did. It was so awesome to be back in this class again, because this is one of my favorite classes from last year. So I'm sticking to it, and I'm super excited about it. So
I'm gonna give you guys a little
I really enjoyed it.
I love it. I love it. Are you gonna be with us every live session, Sydney?
I'm going to try to be. The Thursdays, they have me in 4 different classes, so I'm trying to kind of juggle them around, but I will definitely be making special effort for this one because I loved it. This was one of my absolute favorite classes.
And remember, for those, I'll send out that email today saying when the live session is up and running, and that will have Sydney's information for you guys on there.
If you don't mind, Chef, I was gonna
please do.
share my screen real quick. So this brought me back. Having this class again brought me back because just like you, Sydney, it too was one of my favorite faves. As to where this little guy of mine, let's see, screen 1, yes, boom. This is my concept, my idea, what I'm thinking of for myself. So. As to where this is what I kind of put together 4 years ago and was kind of playing around. So what do you think this is? I'll take any takers pertaining to just from the front cover. What do you think my concept could be?
Oh, Michelle said something. What did you say, Michelle?
It looks like old records. So music?
It does have a music vibe, but it is more leaning towards the fine dining experience, cigar bar, piano bar kind of idea. So the name comes from Scraps being a nose-to-tail cookery. The den being the aesthetics, the comfort. You know, I don't know, Chef Rachel, if you've ever been to Williams and Graham.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Yes. So that similar kind of speakeasy sort of circumstance, but a little more onto the finer end, because as you kind of start going down, you can kind of start to see a little bit more of that fine dining sort of idea. Bourbon, whiskey, beer, wine, specialty beverages, small plates, evolved entrees, you know, and then unique treats, as into desserts. So with a lot of very different cuisine, a little different style, definitely, you know, giving a little bit of variety, but also keeping it unique and that curiosity part. Because Williams and Graham, when the first time I ever walked through those doors, I was like, huh? This is a restaurant? And then the hostess lady pushes a button and the bookshelf moves out of the way and you walk behind the bookshelf and then there's this entire huge dining area and bar. So cool. So cool. All right.
Awesome.
Just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that is awesome. And then for those who don't know what Williams and Graham is, I will pull that
Did you
up.
pull it up?
I'm trying to find the website, but I don't see a website for it. I see like the Yelp reviews and TripAdvisor and stuff, but I don't actually see the actual website for it. So that is something that I will try to find and then put it into email.
It's right there. No? So
Yeah, you click on
photos.
it and it goes nowhere.
Did you no, like on the right hand side, are you Googling or are you edging?
I Googled.
Yeah, so on the right hand side,
Yeah, I tried.
you
Not
didn't click there
Yeah.
to show just pictures of what it looks
Oh,
like.
there, finally, it opened up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops. Come on, Eric. Get it together. Boom.
Yeah. But then I will share this website now that it finally opened up for me. It was forever loading. And then that will be on the message too, so everybody can see it, including those who are watching the live session archive. So I hope you guys have a fabulous, fabulous week. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody doing your assignment by Friday so you can get that extra credit in. And if you have any questions, who are you going to call? And there are no ghosts. So who are you going to call?
There are gremlins, though, in the system, so be careful.
Don't beat them after midnight.
You're right. All right, guys. Have a great, great night. And I will see everybody. We will see everybody next week. Bye, everyone.